of you who are not familiar with the Moonshot, and I think that's very few of you, so we'll make this very quick. The Moonshot, we launched the Moonshot in 2017 at the Breakers, Palm Beach, where we were just for our summit this past November. And we launched it with a group of pioneers. Kate, you're going to show the...
Yeah, give me just 1 second.
And it was, you know, we really wanted to find a way to galvanize the wellness community and really the medical community around something, around a very important central issue. And that is preventable disease, how we can work together to eradicate preventable disease. And so you'll see on stage at the Breakers that year were all these wonderful pioneers who helped us bring the Moonshot to life. And it has certainly grown since that time. These are the people, you know, Andy Weil, Dr. Oz, Dean Ornish, Rich Carmona, who has stayed very, very involved on our board, very, very much a part of the project, people from all over the world. And, you know, it was very, very important to keep this going. And one of the ways that we do, and that you're very familiar with, is that we needed a vehicle to communicate what this was about. And so we worked with Jessica Jesse, who is the CEO and creative director of Buddha Girl, to create a calendar that we could use all year long, month by month, creating experiences and interactions that that people could rally around. You could use it in your workplace, you could use it in your community, at home, however, and to really inspire people to look at prevention, at preventable disease, to look at what they could do for their own wellness. And we called Year of Inspiration. And since the time we launched, this has grown. We've got now close to 1,000 organizations or individuals participating, impacting globally over 6 million people. So we are very, very proud of what we have done. The calendar is absolutely beautiful. That is entirely a work of art from Jessica Jesse. And at the end of this call, we're going to show you what next year's looks like, because she's already designed it and it is quite spectacular. But anyway, it's really wonderful to be with all of you. And I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we can celebrate the full moon and gratitude.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you all so much for joining us. And again, welcome. I'm Kate with the Global Wellness Institute, and we're so happy that you're joining us today to celebrate this month's theme of thank, or thanks, if you will, and really being thankful for each other, for everything we've been given, even through a tumultuous year and a very trying year. And we really want to honor that throughout this call. And so we'll have a couple different experiences coming, just a couple logistics right before we move forward here. Please do keep yourself on mute when you are not speaking. If you're on the desktop version, it's in the bottom left-hand side to mute and unmute yourself. You can also come on camera. We would love to see you. These calls are all about getting connected and getting to know each other. So we'd love to see your face. And as well, please do use the chat. Many of you are already doing that, introducing yourselves and connecting with each other. So please do feel free to use that throughout the call today. And now it is my pleasure to offer our first experience and introduce Randy May from Inspired Wellness. She's a mindfulness and meditation teacher, a counselor, and founder of Inspired Journeys. And she's been with us for several calls now and always offers a wonderful way to get these calls started, get us centered. So Randy May, over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. This is the last one for the year, which is so amazing. And if you're on this call, that means you've made it through 2020. And that's something to be thankful for. If you're on this call, you're healthy, I can see your smiling faces, you've made it. And there's still some element of joy that's existing within you, regardless of how the year's turned out. So that in itself is something so grateful and thankful we can be thankful for, because the theme this year is, or this month is thanks. And we can hopefully ride that wave into 2021. But today I just want to invite us to remember, like, we went through 2020 and we all arrived here at this destination. And so if you arrived here on this call today, that means everything unfolded as it should, regardless of the obstacles, the challenges, the things that happened. The Global Wellness Institute still did a conference, which is pretty, pretty amazing. So, just really putting into context that if you're on this call, you survived the year. And there's so much to be thankful for because you arrived regardless of the circumstances, the outcomes, the uncertainty that we all felt this year. You still arrived. And that's beautiful. So for today, I think what we're going to do is really take a moment to be thankful and honor our breathing and honor our breath, because regardless of all the things that got us through this year, you're still breathing, your breath is still in your body, it's still sustaining you, and it's going to take you into 2021. And so as we do that, I'm going to honor the fact that when I do this breathing exercise about being thankful, it's really about, can we honor the breaths that had to happen before we took ours? So your mom, whether you knew her or not, had to breathe. Your grandmother had to breathe. Your great-grandmother had to breathe. It doesn't matter if you knew them or not, but it took more than 10,000 people to sustain themselves so that you can arrive here today and experience some sort of gratitude. And so when we do our breathing exercise today, I'm going to guide us through a practice where we really honor and be thankful for all of the people and the situations and the circumstances. Some of them we don't even know and we're not even aware of, that allowed us to arrive here in December in 2020 and still make it, which is so lovely. I don't know, it makes me happy. Is anybody else happy? But I hope it does, because there's so much to be joyful for. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Oh my God. I just feel like not a sad cry, but like a happy cry that we all made it. And there's so much to be joyful for. Even if you can't see it yet, I urge you to really bring awareness to that. You still have the ability to be joyful, and that's beautiful. So saying that, if we can close our eyes for a moment, and we put one hand on our chest and one hand on our belly. And if we can close our eyes just for a moment, just feeling the gentleness of your breath moving through your body. Gently raises your chest into your hands. And even though it gently raises your chest and your rib cage and your belly into your hands, it's still so powerful. It sustains our life. It allows us to experience. It feeds us. Just noticing what that feels like. To feel the gentleness of your breath, even though it's so powerful. So even though we may have felt like we had to be strong to get through the year, our breath reminds us that there's a gentleness that carries us through all of our challenges. And that softness is something that we can be thankful for. If you can take a deeper breath into your body, feeling your chest and your belly rise and expand, and feeling the softness of your body as you let go. Noticing what it feels like just to be one and holding and experiencing the expansiveness of your breath that took you through the year. And feeling the softening of your body that also took you through the year. And in order for us to experience this breath today, your mother, whether you knew her or not, had to have her first breath in a moment. Your grandmother had to have her first breath. And your great-grandmother had to have her first breath. And 10,000 people beyond you that you may have never met before had to have their very first breath in a very precious moment. Experience a series of circumstances you may never know about. so you can arrive in this moment with gratitude. As you breathe into your body, bringing awareness to the joy of this breath that you're breathing, and all of the joyful moments of those 10,000 people that you'll never know that had to happen so you can be in this very moment. So as you breathe in, I'm going to invite you just to smile with your own self. Giving yourself permission to be thankful. Giving yourself permission to be joyful. And honor your ability and all the things that had to conspire so you can arrive here today. As we start to close this practice, we're simply going to say thank you to our bodies for taking us through this year. Your body that sustained you, that remained healthy, that allowed you to experience despite all the challenges. And it's still here with you in this moment. So as we end 2020, and we step into 2021, there's nothing that you can't get through. And honoring that knowing that 2020 gave us. Simply being thankful. So as you take a nice deep breath in into your body, and a gentle and slow breath out, letting it all go. Simply saying thank you to yourself, to all the things that conspire to get you here. And when you're ready, you can gently open up your eyes. I just want to thank you for slowing down today. And just remember, I don't know, I just feel so happy. But I just remember that joy is so powerful. And if we all made it here to this destination this year, and if you can make it through 2020, anything is absolutely possible. And being thankful for the wisdom of 2020, showing you that you can get through anything. If you're here, your business may have survived. And if it hasn't, it's just redirection, inviting you to take a new path that you're being called to. So I thank you all for slowing down and allowing me to be a part of your year and being a part of this beautiful ending and a powerful ending to a new beginning. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brandy May. Oh, what a wonderful way to collect ourselves and really honor what we have done this year. So thank you. And now back over to Nancy, who will give us an opportunity to really thank those who have helped us to expand this message and our mission around the world. Nancy?
Thank you, Kate, and thank you, Randy May. It is always my unhappy task to follow Randy May. As I'm thinking about the generations in my family and my mother and grandmother and everybody, brought tears to my eyes, but it's a really wonderful thing to do at the holiday, especially this year. So thank you, Randy May, for being such an important part of this entire celebration every month. You know, one of the things that we wanted to do, you saw the numbers for the moonshot and how many people we've impacted. You know, we really wanted to create a global movement. And in order to do that, we really needed to have partners who felt as passionately about this mission as we do. And one of those partners is represented here today, Julia Sutton. Hyatt is an incredible partner, and they sponsored this month. Hyatt is famous for gratitude and the way they express it, not only in their company with their employees, but with their partners and of course their guests. And so I would just like to ask Julia to let us know how she embodies gratitude.
Make sure to unmute yourself there. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now
Yes.
we can.
Great, okay. Thank you, Nancy, and gosh, it's hard to come off that beautiful breathing exercise, Randy May, thank you. You're right, Hyatt and both Exhale are behind gratitude 100% and fully. Can you hear me better now?
It's very soft, unless it's me,
Yeah,
but it's very low.
I'm having audio issues.
Okay.
I will
You can
try
speak
to
closer
follow.
to your computer if that's what you're using or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to use my phone because the computer's not working well.
Okay.
Can you hear me better now? No. Okay, maybe go on to somebody else because I'm having audio issues.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah. I tried to fix it before the call, but it's not working. That's why I tried the phone, but that's not working either. So sorry.
Okay, if you're able to dial in to the call, we'll come back to you. That would be great because we don't want to miss what you have to say. So, okay, thank you. This happens. This is the new world in which we live. I'm going to ask that Sarah Smith, who is here representing Prevention Magazine, to say something about thank and the way in which prevention has trumpeted this message and how they make this come alive both in print and online. Sarah and her team work very hard, work with us all year long, and really help us expand our reach. So Sarah?
Thank you, Nancy. It's really wonderful to be here with all of you. You know, I think one of the wonderful things about the moonshot and the words of Renee's that we share is that I almost feel like it's a way of thanking our readers for being a part of our community, because it's such a warm and thoughtful, things that we share. But, I want to tell you about how our team was particularly inspired by Renee's suggestion this month to think bigger. I have a relatively small team, but we work with many other departments at our larger company. And, they do things like build the functionality for our site, and they get our magazines on newsstands. And, of course, we're nice on all these projects. We say, thanks, appreciate that. But we have started to be more specific with our thanks of these colleagues. And, often we get to do this on Zoom, and it is really something to see the way people's faces change on Zoom when you can, be clear about your gratitude. And just as Renee said, it turns a transactional relationship into a true partnership. And it's really meant a lot, I'm sure, to them, but it's really meant a lot to our team to see that happen. And then that, I hope, translates into everything that we do for our readers. So, I want to thank Renee, as always, for taking these grand ideas and making them real without losing the specialness of them. And thank you all for listening to me and for being a part of the Moonshot.
Sarah, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. And I agree. Thank you to Renee for her brilliant writing and conceptualizing and her heart and soul, which comes through every month. Renee is the person who writes this, who takes these concepts and makes them tangible and accessible to people, but never losing the power and the heart behind it. So It's really quite a wonderful partnership, and we hope to continue in some fashion as the years go on. Prevention Magazine has a very strong US focus, but one of the things that's very true to our DNA as the Institute and the Summit is to be very global. And so we really wanted to create global partnerships for the Moonshot. And 3 extraordinary leaders stepped up. Victor Koo in China, Amir Alroy in Israel, and Dr. Modi in India. And they adopted the Moonshot for their countries and created projects and found ways to express this world free of preventable disease in their own way, in their own cultures. And for that, we are eternally grateful. That has also helped tremendously to expand what we're doing. And we have representatives from most of them on the call today. I'm going to start with my very dear friend, Amir Alroy from WellTech One in Tel Aviv, to maybe tell us, Amir, what thank means to you and how you express that.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Nancy and Kate. It's an honor for me to be part of the Global Wellness Institute and the Moonshot. I'm looking forward to see you all in Tel Aviv next year. For me, being thankful is not taking everything for granted, especially our health, families, friends. And I think we all see this time showed us all the importance of those basic things, and we should be thankful for them. I thank the ability to do what I love and combine wellness and innovation, and to be able to help to improve healthy living through our startups, innovation, technologies, and to reach as many people as possible. The word thank you has power, and it makes the other side proud, appreciated, and happy. And I recommend to use it a lot. In Hebrew, thank you is toda. So toda from Israel.
Toda, Amir. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. But yes, and everybody should be in Tel Aviv next November for the summit. And you'll get to learn a lot more Hebrew than just that, for sure. I think Teresa is on the call from Hai Holdings in China representing Victor. So Teresa.
Hi, everyone. This is Teresa from Parent Culture here in China. I think the most grateful thing for me this year is we have met GWI and we have formed this beautiful partnership to promote the Wellness Moonshot to the Chinese audience. Our journey on wellness and promoting wellness and well-being really started with a research on health in China. And we realized chronic diseases are the primary health problem in China. And the leading causes of them are all lifestyle related, such as diet and smoking. So we have a little seed in our heart. We want to make the world free of preventable diseases, just like GWI, and we attracted like-minded people, and we are very thankful about this, and we can do this together and really make it a movement, a global movement. So very grateful. Thank you.
Teresa, we are so grateful for your partnership, and you're going to hear more and more on future calls about what they're doing in China with the Moonshot this year. It's very, very exciting. Before we go back to Julia, who I hope will be able to share some thoughts with us, I just wanted to see if anybody, while we stay global, if anybody from Dr. Modi's team is on the call. Just speak up if you are. It's very late at night there, and I was in touch earlier with people from Dr. Modi's organization. So let me just say on behalf of Dr. M, I know that they have great plans for the Moonshot in India and beyond, and that they're very, very passionate about wellness and doing tremendous work there. So Julia, back to you.
And I'm going to share for Julia. We're still having some technical difficulties, so thank you, Julia. And she wanted to share that, they are very grateful that that 2020 brought us the ability to actually bring wellness to so many more of their guests and customers virtually. They're now doing a lot of virtual wellness gatherings, and guests and customers are now allowing them into their families too, with 60th birthday parties. Is that, yeah, nice. So she says, thank you to the Global Wellness Institute for always being such an important part of bringing wellness to the masses. So, and thank you, Julia, for helping us expand our message as well.
And for being such a fabulous shark at the Shark Tank of Wellness competition at the summit. Julia, you were awesome.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. And again, thank you to our global partners and to our sponsors such as Hyatt and to Prevention as well. So thank you. And now it is my pleasure to hand it over to Renee, who has already been introduced, but is also serving on the Global Wellness Institute Board of Directors and is CEO of Wisdom Works. And she'll outline a little bit more about our theme this month. So Renee, over to you.
Kate, and I always feel my heart just explode when we get on this call and see each other's faces and we feel like, you know, we've been together now for months and who knows what new connections we've been making with each other and what's going to emerge from that. So I just appreciate all of you so much. I wanted to read a quote from you to you. Randy has already hinted at it with the meditation that we did. Gratitude and thanks is considered by scholars, scientists, spiritual teachers as the mother of well-being. So from gratitude, we really experience well-being. And I wanted to read a quote to you by a monk, David Steindl-Rast. If you don't know his work, it's really, really incredible work. And he says, it's not joy that makes us grateful. So it's not well-being that makes us grateful. Gratitude makes us joyful. So it's finding that place within ourselves of gratitude, that foundation that reminds us physiologically that we are safe, we are whole, the world is a friendly place. When we come from that place of gratitude, we know that in our bones, in our cells. It also helps us rise above our situation, whatever circumstances we're in, like a global pandemic and all of the strife that's happened around it. It reminds us that we are bigger than that and we're connected to a human community and we're connected to a greater mystery, something that's much larger than ourselves that we don't fully comprehend and that we are just grateful to that. Angeles Arian, an anthropologist, I wanted to read a quote from her as well, says that gratitude is when we recognize the positive things that come our way that we did not actively work for or ask for. So it's interesting, and I know in my own life, a lot of times I say grateful for, oh, that happened because I put energy into that. I made that happen, or we as a team made that happen. But here she's saying that no, gratitude is for those things that, you know, we're privileged. Things emerge in our lives and circumstances happen that we are thrown into that even may on the surface appear difficult and end up being exactly what is supporting us for evolving. So I thought we could do a little practice for about a minute. If you've got a pencil and a piece of paper or a pen and a piece of paper, if you'll just draw a line down it, and on the right-hand side, put outer resources, and on the left-hand side, put inner resources, and make a few notes to yourself. In my journey this year, I am grateful that these resources have emerged, things that I did not even ask for, have naturally emerged. Outer resources could be things like relationship, people, specific people that showed up and supported your work or your life, events or situations, whether you deem them positive or negative, time, money, talents. And on the other side are inner resources. What is emerged within you? What's emerged within you that maybe you didn't realize you had that within you, but this last year has provided such a ripe opportunity to call that forth. Maybe it's courage, maybe it's a sense of greater compassion or empathy. Maybe it is the desire to be closer to family that you didn't know. That's one of mine, by the way. I just told my husband this morning. I'm realizing how important family is to me. So whatever that is for you. And then the challenge for us is after this call to say specific thanks. If there are people on your list, including yourself, to be specifically thanking, like Sarah mentioned that their team is doing, it's so important to create that doorway of connection, because that is this foundation of not just our effectiveness, but our fulfillment and our joy. I am incredibly grateful to have been a part of this community this year, and incredibly grateful to Kate and Nancy and Susie and the whole GWI team that orchestrates this. A lot happens. It looks pretty simple when we're together for an hour, and I know all the work that happens behind the scenes. And to all of you, we are all committed to a shared mission to a world free of preventable disease, and that's pretty remarkable. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Renee. And those lists, I'm gonna need to reach out to some people after this, and to myself, right? For the inner resources. And so now we are going to go into breakout rooms. Nancy, do you wanna maybe explain a little bit before we go in? And you are muted, just FYI.
Sure. Thanks, Kate. And thank you, Renee. That was absolutely wonderful. I have my list. So, it's part of our DNA always to get people together, to talk, to collaborate and exchange ideas. And so we're going to make use of the breakout room function in Zoom. This will allow a handful of us to be together in a virtual room of our own, where we'll get to know each other a bit, share some thoughts on this month's theme of gratitude, of thank, and maybe spark some connections that last longer than this call, which often happens. So once you're in the breakout room, and Kate's going to do that randomly, be sure you're unmuted, bottom left little microphone with the red line through it, unmute, so we can all talk, and introduce yourself. Be sure you just say your name, your company, organization, and where you are in the world, because as a global group, it's very interesting to know where people are from. And let's talk about what thank means. The breakout sessions last around 10 minutes, and Kate will prompt us when it's time to wrap up.
Wonderful. And you'll get a little notification to join your breakout room now. There you go. Everyone. Oh, I need to move it on. Oh. So if you can hear, there you go. Hi, Adriana. I'm going to assign you to a breakout room. Let's sketch into, here you go. Here they all come. Welcome back, everybody. Everybody will be back. We just have a few more seconds as we wrap that up. I hope it was enjoyable, and we'll hear from a few of you in just a few seconds.
The breakouts are very good. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Gives you an opportunity to meet people from everywhere, right? New people and or reconnect with anybody, right?
We went to India.
Wonderful. I love it. Great. Well, would you like to share anything that came from your meeting, or share a reflection?
Well,
Yes.
just briefly, it is difficult around in terms of the shutdown. It is difficult when we're all grateful for our own health and supporting our own strengthening of immunity, but grateful for the ability to connect like this. As I say, we're all kind of becoming zombies, but that's okay, but to keep the connection. So we're grateful for that, but there are some rough times ahead, but I think we'll make it quite well. Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you. Would anyone else like to share a reflection from their breakout room? Just unmute yourself and volunteer. Go ahead.
No, there I am.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. What I thought was amazing was that we talked about death and dying, and also the new beginnings. And for me, I was talking about my sister died on March 1st, and then I was talking about the things that you have to be grateful for despite that grief. Well, it turns out what a wonderful thing that you randomly put us together, because the other two ladies that were with me, one was Josephine Skiles from Kentucky, and the other Christine, I believe it's Maria from Canada. Their careers or their lives are about working with, one of them works with hospice, although she's lost a job. Another one is getting ready to do some studying on helping people in the death and dying process. But we use this as to talk about being grateful, even though we've had losses, whether it's the loss of job or loss of a family member, that we are using this time to have a new beginning.
Mm. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carolyn.
Thank you.
And Elizabeth, were you going to share?
I was going to share that was really, of the three of us, the break room ended too quickly because we really connected, and we were, how do we get in touch? So my name again is Elizabeth Harrington. So for the two people that I connected with, and it was just fascinating how there'd been loss and pivots, and how grateful we were to the Global Wellness Institute and the summit for being able to act as a guide to help us navigate some of the changes and pivots and swerves, and to land where we really wanted to be and where we were excited about embracing the gifts that we can bring, and looking at 2021. So how very, very grateful with coming from loss, whether it was loss of health, loss of job, loss of career, just something that is so tangible by having this moment of pause. And since the great reset has taken on a negative connotation, but the great pause, the global pause. So grateful for that. And to my two friends that I connected with, again, can we do that on the chat? Is that what we do? And
yes, please. You can chat privately to each other, but we'll also share the list of participants after this. It doesn't have your email addresses, but it definitely gives you the ability to go and find each other as well.
Right, great.
Yes. Would anyone else like to share from their breakout room?
Hi, Sheree.
Yes.
Hi. So I always find this kind of intriguing, and I guess it's a universal speech or something happens, but all three of us in our breakout were runners, and pretty serious runners, and so appreciative of a lot of things that people have mentioned about how there's this group and there's community and such. And it just always amazes me that there's always some type of underlying connection. And Noah, if you're still on, if you can put your app up there on the chat so that we can have it, and is also with Christine. And we just got to talk about that, and just having that familiarity in moments like this is really important, because it's almost like that automatic community that happens in it. So I'm really appreciative of that, and the setup and how this was all created in the breakout rooms, because you would have never known that about us before you put us together. So that was kind of amazing.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. I wish we had time for everyone to be able to share, but do please connect with each other afterwards, share some additional thoughts in the chat. We do have a few more minutes of the call. But one thing that we really love to do, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the call, is to actually celebrate and thank a specific person and the work that they've been doing. You know, each month when you register, we ask for how you're personally using the Wellness Moonshot, a world free of preventable disease, to really spread that message, and using the theme each month. And so it's my pleasure to announce that Lynn Kushmer is our winner for this month. She's with Kushmer Communications, and she reported the Global Wellness Institute Wellness Moonshot Calendar inspires content development for clients creating healthier spaces and environments. And on a personal level, it has motivated her, her family, and friends to get into action on health and wellness plans and make self-care a priority. So Lynn, congratulations.
Wow, what a surprise. Thank you. And in all sincerity, it's really helped. It's amazing. So, you know, from a personal level, we all feel better, family and friends, losing weight, unbelievable. And then from a professional perspective, I work with Train and other companies that are trying to create healthier spaces. And this was all pre-pandemic, but it's even more important now about indoor environment quality. So all very positive, and everything to do with the seeds that you have planted in this forum.
Wonderful.
Thank you. What a surprise.
Thank you. I love surprising people. It's fun. But thank you all, to everybody. A huge round of applause for everything you've done throughout this whole year, Lynn, and everyone else on this call. The work that you do when you show up is important, and I honor that. And we hope that these spaces help you honor the work that you're doing for yourself and for the world. So thank you. And now I do see a question here, Nancy, in the chat.
I know it was a perfect setup. I want to thank Regina for asking about the calendar, because we were just going to introduce what that calendar is going to look like this year. But I wanted to add one more thank you, and that is to Kate, who has really made these calls happen, and who is just wonderful to work with, and who we owe a lot of our gratitude, not just this month, but for the whole year. So thank you, Kate.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to serve you all.
Yes, welcome.
So the calendar for 2021. So Jessica Jesse wanted to really do something bold. It feels like, I think we all agree, a year. We need to turn the page on 2020 and do something bold. So she has done that with color and design for us. And this is what the calendar for 2021 will look like. And we will be releasing it shortly with the words that we have chosen. Renee's content will be part of it, as always. And actually many of our global partners are going to customize this calendar for their countries. Could be in different languages, different themes, different ideas. I know China is very interested in doing this on food and nutrition. It's a huge initiative, a huge project, and every month may be about that there. Whereas we will have more global kinds of themes like we have had that we can all rally around. But this is the look of the calendar. And Jessica has done it again. It's absolutely stunning. And it will be a beautiful thing that people will have to hang in their offices and homes, and so appreciate your support, and that will be available soon.
And we will definitely let you know as soon as it is available to purchase. All of you are on our mailing list, so we will reach out and let you all know when you can get both the digital version as well as the physical one to hang in your offices, your homes, your home office now. All of us have that, whether we want
is your office.
Exactly. And so before I introduce our last and our final fun experience that we end our calls with here. Again, just a huge thank you. Thank you for showing up each month. Thank you for celebrating with us and the work that you do. I really can't say it enough. We can't do this without you. And this mission, a world free of preventable disease, cannot be achieved without each of you and your efforts. So thank you sincerely. And now it is my pleasure to hand it over to Lisa Fazzulo. She is the founder and director for the Center for Transformative Movement, and she's gonna take us out with our final activity. Lisa, over to you.
Kate, thank you. And thank you, Nancy. We talked in our breakout, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We talked in our breakout room about truly how thankful we were for this community. And when I mentioned movement, everyone said, I want to dance, and I want to dance, and we don't go dancing anymore, we have kids. So in that spirit, we begin, thank you, Nancy, and thank you, Susie, please pass that on to her for including movement, because it's not a thing yet. It hasn't become a thing. Well, you know, it's not, you don't say, oh, I need to go break out for an hour, but it's becoming a thing, and it's on its way to the mainstream. So we begin this call, the Moonshot calls, with the breath, and we end with the body, because those are really only the two things we can definitively say we are. So in that spirit, let's start with moving shoulders as if you're swinging your arm. We're going to stand up in a minute, but as if you're swinging your arms, but don't swing your arms, just move your shoulders, because that gets your whole body moving and twisting, okay? And then we're going to start at the bottom and work up, okay? So let's stand up. Thanks, Kate. And you can turn your music louder at home if you want. So let's get shoulders going. You can swing your arms, but if you want to just get your shoulders. Okay, let's start with our foot. Twisting it. Knees. Hips. Other foot. Knees. Hips. I want to see everyone dancing, Louisa. Keep going. And then you can go slow. Hips. Just shake everything. Jumping. Cartwheels. Anything. Let the silly parts of ourselves out. Celebrating and thanking ourselves. And we become the thank you. Woo! Upping. Thank you everyone. Shoulders. Lifting. And a breath. Just let go, throwing a happy tantrum. Woo!
Wonderful. It is the last minute, so you can continue dancing if you'd like. So thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Celebrating our gratitude and our thanks for everything that you do. I'm a little out of breath. Don't know about you. I've been shaking it.
Thank you, Kate.
My pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your 2020, and a happy holidays.
Thank you all.
Bye all. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Holidays.